I just realized I'm not wearing mascara. Alright, so I'm literally filming this video without wearing mascara, which might not seem that strange, but I wear mascara like all the time, but I just didn't put any on today because obviously it's day, what, like 22 of quarantine, and I didn't put mascara on because I didn't think I was going to film the video, but here we are, and I'm also too lazy to put it on, and it's almost 8 o'clock at night, so why would I put it on? But hey guys, I'm back, and I'm in a new-ish setup. In my last video, I was in my little beanbag corner, but in this video, I literally just brought in the chair and I'm sitting in front of my bed because the thing with these sit-down videos, I feel like I don't really have any good backgrounds or anything. So to make them a little bit more interesting, I figured I would try and switch up my backgrounds. But since I'm stuck in my house, you're pretty much just going to see variations of my room and maybe other rooms in my house. But I'm back with a new video, obviously, and I was just sitting on my computer, like going through my old vlogs from like SLO and like when we went to San Francisco and stuff, and I was just like really sentimental. It was a cute moment. Go check those out if you haven't. I'm really proud of them actually. The San Francisco one is really fun. But obviously, as I talked about in my last video, the videos that have been getting a lot of views on my channel lately are obviously my ones talking about SLO. So because it's like college decision time, I figured I'd finally make a video talking about why I chose SLO and then some advice for Cal Poly and just college in general. So for the past like week, I've been writing down bits of advice that I thought were useful at college and specifically where I go to school. So I'm first going to talk about why I chose Cal Poly SLO, and then I'm going to give you guys some advice. And some people left some questions on my Instagram stories. I'm going to answer those questions in this video, so I hope you guys enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe because there's a lot of new viewers and I've been getting some new subscribers, so that's really fun. Also, there's a mirror behind where you're sitting up and my hair looks like different today and I feel like I'm not me. Like, I'm having an existential crisis, clearly. If you catch me looking at the mirror, I'm sorry. Or like looking at myself. Anyways, let's get started. Okay, so I wrote some advice pieces down on my phone, but my phone isn't updating the note that I wrote on my computer. So I'm gonna go fix that real quick because it had a lot more advice on there. Alright, so I'm back and my notes app just updated, so all the advice pieces I wrote down are there, and I also changed the camera setup just a little bit, so I hope it didn't change that much. But also, before we get started, I just wanted to say that this past week, today's Saturday, I had my first week of online classes through Zoom, which was interesting. It wasn't that bad. It's just with online class, I feel like everyone can agree that there's just not a lot of motivation to do the work. I don't know, at least when I was at school, I'm like, okay, I have to do this work because like we're gonna critique it in person and I'm gonna see everyone's pieces and I can like show mine off or whatever, but it's just the motivation isn't the same. And also, like, being at school was so much fun that, like, oh, you work hard during the week, the weekends are your reward. So if you want, I can make a video on that, or, like, kind of vlog a day of me doing online classes. But I just thought I'd let you guys know. Let's get started with the advice. So I have a whole list on my phone, and I'll just go through, and some of these might not make sense, but I'll go through and explain them, obviously. So the first one is definitely Cal Poly specific, but probably can apply to more schools. But this is the first thing I wrote. I wrote, eat off campus sometimes, which obviously costs money to go, you know, downtown SLO or whatever, but at least at SLO, the food on campus is really not good. But if you go on all those like college rating websites and stuff, SLO always has like an F or a D rating in campus dining. Before I went to college, I was like, okay, the expectations for campus dining are low. Like, I'm not expecting anything like extravagant. Obviously, if I went to like UCLA, I know they're known for having good food, but SLO, I was just like, it's just gonna be average campus food. Like, it's not gonna be that bad. But it's worse than I thought. It's even lower. Like, the bar was low and it's like even below it. So my advice to go off campus, it really makes a difference if you go honestly even like once a month. Just get a little variety, and like obviously food is important to like your health and stuff, and if you're stuck eating the same things all the time, you'll go crazy. And there's a ton of great places in SLO, and if anyone has any questions on where to eat if you're visiting in the near future once quarantine's over, I'll give you guys some suggestions. My next piece of advice is just for college in general and even high school, if you're in high school still watching this, is to do your homework a little at a time. Obviously, majority of people like to procrastinate, but one thing I like to do is like, if I get assigned something by a professor on a Tuesday and it's not due till the next Tuesday, but say it's a really easy assignment, just do it literally the day you get it assigned, because even though you have a whole week to do it, if you get the things like that done quickly, then you can have more time for harder assignments. Also, prioritize your assignments, obviously. If you have, say it's Sunday and you have something to do Tuesday and Wednesday, do the things that are due Tuesday first, even if they're the harder ones, even if they're the ones you don't want to do, and then do the ones due Wednesday, because that's just prioritizing and it's just making things easier so you don't have to stress about waiting to the last minute. So next I have written down make friends in your dorm, which obviously sounds kind of dumb, but I made pretty good close friends on my side of the dorm, because where I lived it was two sides of the dorm. There was like, we were on the odd side and then there was the even side, and I made a lot of good friends with people on the odd side, but I didn't go over to the even side that much, which like is so easy. You literally just walk down a flight of stairs and go around the corner. I feel like it's good to have friends on both sides just because there's a ton of cool people you'll meet, and in my residence hall with 100 people you can make so many good friends, and it's really nice having friends at your dorm because it's convenient. Like if I wanted to hang out with my friends, I just knock on their door 5 seconds away from mine. Obviously you'll meet people in your classes that live in different dorms, which is also good, but I can even admit, like, I never went to the Red Bricks or the Towers at Cal Poly SLO. I had a couple friends in Yawkey Tutu, but I pretty much hung out in like North Mountain area and Yawkey Tutu on occasion. It was just kind of a far walk to make regularly. Alright, so next, my point kind of goes back to the first point I said about eating off campus, but it's basically just to eat a variety of food on campus. I know first quarter I kind of got stuck in like habits of campus dining. Like if I really liked a certain place, I would eat it like 3 days in a row, or like if I liked a certain place for lunch, like that's all I'd eat for lunch. But then definitely second quarter I tried a lot more things, and at SLO there's these like food trucks which I never tried, even though they were right outside the building that all my classes are at, which is Dexter. It's the art building. I didn't try them till the very end of the quarter, and they actually had some pretty decent options. So yeah, just try to get a variety. And I know I was kind of lazy because like there's Campus Market, which has a lot of options, but it was kind of a far walk, so I didn't go there that often first quarter, but second quarter I would just walk there. It's not that bad. The next point is about registering for classes. Basically, for registering for classes, you definitely want to think ahead of time of what classes you want to take. I got blocked into all my major classes this year because my major's small, so they put us in all of our classes. But definitely for like GEs and stuff, if there's a specific GE you want to take, think about it ahead of time and start kind of maybe jotting down some schedule options. The way we plan, they give you like a bunch of schedules you can choose from, but obviously you can't always have your first choice if classes fill up and stuff like that. So just think ahead of time because classes fill up fast and you don't want to be stuck with a bad schedule. I mean, first quarter I stuck with the schedule I was given. That's why I got stuck with like a late night class, which I didn't like, and also like 6 hours of class straight and like stuff like that. But then second quarter I had a really good schedule, obviously no Friday classes, because I just started thinking about that ahead of time. And it's honestly not bad registering for classes. I know a couple questions were like, is it bad? Like, is it scary? It's not that bad. I feel like obviously when you get your like specific time and it's like, say you're registering at 10 a.m. on the certain date, like at 10 a.m. those classes can fill up in an instant, but it usually isn't too bad. Okay, so my next point is a little bit specific to my situation, but I wrote down to ask for help during classes. My classes are very small. They're like 25 people and they're about 3 hours long for all my art classes because it's a lecture time and then a lab time. And I would say in those classes, if you have long classes or like just smaller classes, because obviously this doesn't work for huge lectures, ask for help during your classes because not everyone wants to go to office hours, especially if they're like early in the morning or if they conflict with another class you have. I would always ask for help during classes because most of the time it would just be time for us to work and the professors would just like walk around or like sit there, you know, doing other stuff. But like that's when I would ask like their opinion on something or if I didn't understand something, just so if it's like a super quick question you don't have to be intimidated to ask them, because it's better you ask them literally in the 5 minutes during class than like wait and go to office hours and then like they're busy or like something, you know, like that type of thing. So next I wrote keep track of your class calendars, which are usually included in your syllabi that your professors give you. Sometimes they'll print it out for you, other times they'll just put it online, but I really like to print them out and then have the calendars at the front of all my folders, because honestly, especially on the quarter system when everything's so fast-paced, even though it still feels like the quarter's like years long, I really like to go through and highlight the day that I'm done with the class. So like even online school on Monday, like I crossed off the agenda for what I was supposed to do for my art class and my photo class. It just makes it seem like you're getting through the quarter and you're like making progress. I don't know, that's just kind of a weird thing I do. And usually they put deadlines on there and like due dates, which is really helpful, so then you can see for the future like, oh, I have this many things due this week, I should get started on this type of thing, you know, just staying organized. And then my last piece of advice I wrote is to take all your classes seriously, which obviously you want to do in general, but like I can admit like I've taken some classes and just like kind of goofed around in them, whatever, not taking them that seriously, especially like my intro to photography class. Like I knew pretty much everything in that class, but it's still important you take it seriously because you're always continuing to learn and like bettering your education, obviously. But definitely for GEs that you think are going to be easy, don't think that. I took biology as sex, which is bio 1, 2, 3 at Cal Poly, and I thought it was going to be not bad, just like a normal bio class. It was really hard. Me, Jacob, Ariadne, Nico, and Ed took it, and I think we all definitely had to work a lot harder for that class than we thought we would. And also I just like kind of goofed around in that class because that was the first time I'd ever had a pretty big lecture. It was 225 people, and first quarter my biggest class was 150 people. So it's just kind of tempting to like goof around when, you know, the professor's not like eyeing you down or you're sitting all with your friends. But just take your classes seriously, especially those G's. Those will like screw you over if you end up getting bad grades on those. I just realized I did this video backwards. I gave the advice first and then why I chose Cal Poly. But I guess now I'll talk about why I chose Cal Poly SLO. I did it backwards even though I wanted to do why I chose SLO first because it's how I wrote it down in my notes. Clearly, I've lost a couple brain cells since being home. But basically, I wrote down a couple points as to why I chose Cal Poly, and obviously everyone has different like desires when looking for a college and wants a different experience. And first of all, I'd like to say that it was the only school I applied to, which may shock some people because that's really just putting all your eggs in one basket. But I promise I was just so in love with the school when I toured it that I literally didn't want to apply to anywhere else. Like obviously I could have very easily applied to other Cal States because it's the same application. I just would have had to pay more to apply to more schools, and I could have applied to art school. But I really loved Cal Poly. I didn't tour a ton of schools because my family and I were very new to the college thing because I'm an only child. So I know a lot of people, like when their older siblings went on college tours, went and saw a bunch of colleges, but I literally toured 4 schools. I toured SLO, I toured USC, and then 2 art schools. I didn't like the art schools because I really wanted a 4-year like college experience with like big student body, school spirit, and those schools just like didn't offer that. And then USC, I mean, I love USC. It's a lot of money. I was definitely going to apply there, but after meeting with the dean of the art program, it just didn't really seem like a fit for the type of art I wanted to do. It's very like fine arts oriented. But yeah, I applied to SLO and I was really nervous and people kept asking me what my backup plan was. I didn't want to think about it until I found out if I got in or not because I was just like super confident. I had to apply through the Cal State application, and then I had to submit a portfolio. And I didn't have the best grades, and I know a lot of people bank on like a high GPA and like a high SAT, ACT, stuff like that, but I got in for my portfolio, which, you know, was to my benefit. But the first thing I wrote down for why I chose SLO was the photography program. When I got there, the tour that we took, they just show you the engineering building, oh, the food sciences building, like stuff like that. They show you the most popular majors and like what they have to offer. But they didn't show us the art building because I was the only one in the tour group who was going to apply for art. We had to go find the art building, and luckily there was some like administrative staff there, and the old photo tech showed us to the photo lab, and I got like a personalized tour. It was just me. He showed me all around Dexter and like showed me all the equipment I've used the past 2 quarters, so that was really cool because I got to see it before all the other photo majors did. But I just remember the photo program is pretty unique because you're an art and design major and my concentration is photography, so I have to take like supporting major classes like intro to drawing, intro to painting, like art and design, stuff like that, which I think makes you more like well-rounded. Even though I'm not a good drawer or painter, it makes you like see your concentration within those type of arts. Like right now I'm taking intro to drawing and we're talking about value and like black and white and stuff like that, and it just so happens I'm taking a black and white photography class. So those things blend really well, which I think is pretty unique. And I just really liked that I could major in art while still being at a 4-year university, because I mean, in high school I loved school spirit and that was really important to me. So coming to college and still being able to live in a dorm and go to football games and stuff like that, like, I really think I got the best of both worlds. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the location. I live in Southern California. I live in Orange County, so SLO is about 4 hours away from me, which I love the location. I think SLO County is so beautiful. The beach is like definitely one of the highlights. I live in a beach town now, so like living by the beach was just always super important to me because I just like the culture and I like the way people act by the beach. So the fact that SLO is literally 15 minutes from like Pismo, Avila, like stuff like that. But then there's also like a ton of like hikes around the area. You can do the tri-tip. I don't like to hike literally at all. The only hike I've done in SLO was the P, which is the easiest hike, and it's right behind the school, and I did it during WOW. But I literally think SLO is so beautiful. Like around fall it was really hot, but I swear like we would go driving and I would just like sit there and be like, oh my god, how do I live in the most beautiful place? And winter was cold. It definitely gets colder there than here, despite the climates being pretty similar. And then I was really looking forward to spring because I know it gets beautiful there, but can't really experience that this year, so we'll have to wait for next year. The area is just beautiful and there's something for everyone. I know a lot of people were asking me about like what's there to do on the weekends. You can go downtown, you can go surfing, you can go hiking, you can go road tripping if you have a car or know someone who has a car. Obviously we went to the Bay, which is 4 hours because it's right in the center of California, like on the coast, so it's not a far drive from like Santa Barbara as well, so that's cool. And yeah, also it's still in California obviously, which was super important to me when I was applying to schools. I didn't want to move out of state because I just love California, and like out of state tuition can get really pricey. I really consider SLO like my second home. Like I love the city, I love the school, like all that stuff. Alright, and the last point is that it's very affordable. I remember when I toured the school, obviously the price kind of differs. I don't know exactly how much my tuition costs, but you can look that up. I remember when I toured the school, my mom asked like, what's average tuition, you know, whatever. The tour guide told us and we were like, that doesn't sound right. Like per year, per quarter, like what we thought the total cost was the cost per quarter, but since it's a Cal State, it's really affordable. And you can apply for scholarships and stuff like that, and they have a lot of like payment options. Obviously you have to pay per quarter for your tuition, but like for housing and stuff you can pay by month, and your dining plans. I think it's super affordable for a lot of people. And yeah, so that was definitely a plus. Alright, so that is all the points I have written down for college advice and then Cal Poly stuff. I hope I answered some of your guys' questions, or if you're looking to commit to Cal Poly, I really encourage you to. It's the best decision I've made, and I'm super happy there. And I hope you guys found this video kind of helpful. I'm still getting used to filming sit-down videos. It's kind of weird for me. When I was looking back at my old videos, I was like, I really miss being able to like interact with my friends in my vlogs and like go places, because that's just, it's where I feel the most comfortable. But I'm gonna film more videos like this at home, so hopefully I get better with them, but I still really like editing them, so hopefully this turns out good. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have any questions about Cal Poly or college, feel free to leave them below, any video suggestions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!